Hey, this is Greg Rollett from the Product Pros and the founder of the Masters of Success. And I wanted to get on camera today to talk a little bit about what we do here and talk a little bit about an experience that I had a few months ago. And it's a really fun Friday afternoon here in the office here, the Product Pros and the Dix and Nanton Celebrity Branding Agency. Actually, right through the wall that you can't see there, we actually have entrepreneurs from all across the country here for filming of a new TV show called Health and Wellness Today. And we have some others filming a TV show called America's Premier Experts, and right now they're getting their photos taken. You know, they got the nice white background and they're looking nice, and we're getting great photos for them. And tomorrow we'll be doing the TV shoot. And you know, we do these, once a month, once every other month throughout the year. And, late in December last year, we did a TV show called The Brian Tracy Show. And, we brought in Brian Tracy. He's author of over 50 best-selling books. He's trained people in over 60 countries, 5 million people, and, all this great stuff on sales and leadership and success and goal setting and psychology and all of these amazing topics. And the guy is really a legend in this industry. He's been doing it for over 30 years, and like I said, helping over 5 million people across the country. And during that TV shoot, much like today, while everyone was going and getting their photos taken, I actually was able to take Brian into our studios here at the Product Pros. We're actually downstairs. We're upstairs right now in the loft, and I took him downstairs and I got to interview him for a brand new product that we were pushing out. And during the interview process, I would lie to say if I wasn't a little nervous, being able to really have a one-on-one conversation with Brian Tracy for about 90 minutes. And it was just the two of us and a camera, and we had 2 chairs, and we're just hanging out, and I got to talk to him about business and success and some of the things that make a successful business in today's economy. And I want to shoot this quick video to talk about 3 things that I learned while interviewing Brian Tracy, and things that you can then apply into your own business if you're in a similar situation, or just really use some of these keys, because there are really fundamental keys that'll help you in your business to get more customers, get more revenue, and all that stuff that you really want. So the first thing I want to talk about is that preparation is key. Right, so for this interview that I did with Brian, I literally spent about 10 hours going through all of his websites, all of his programs. I was in the bookstore going through all his books that I didn't have. I have about 4 or 5 of his books, but this guy's got 60 of them or 50 of them, whatever the number is. And I'm going through all these books, and I'm reading through everything. I'm reading through his sales letters. I'm reading through his live training. Going through bios, seeing what other people had to say about him, just to prep, really 3 modules, three little sections of content. Ended up being about 20 questions, right? So 8 to 10 hours to put together 20 questions, because I really wanted to be prepared. I wanted to know what he was best at talking about. I wanted to know what would be great for the people that we were going to be bringing this program to. What were they going to want out of it? And, so I spent that time. I put all the questions together. And then after that, once the questions were done and we sent them over to his team, for them to look over, I spent another 4 to 5 hours just reading through all the questions. Right? What was I going to ask him? When was I going to ask it to him? What if he answered this way? How was I going to rebuttal? All of these different things. So I really, I had notes in front of me. Don't get me wrong. Just like I have now, I had my little iPad, and I had notes, and there's nothing wrong with having notes to refer to, but I knew what the next question was. I knew if he took a little too long on this answer, how to divert it and go to the next thing. If he kind of covered 2 questions, here's where I was going to go next. And that was really important, because, when you're working with someone like this, time is very, very important. So you really need to be prepared. And whether you're going and pitching venture capitalists, or you're pitching a client in a sales presentation, you want to be prepared. Anything that they throw your way, any curveball, anything that comes from left field, you want to be prepared for. And you also want to be able to control the conversation. And Oren, who is the author of Pitch Anything, he calls it frame control, and he does this thing with the frame, and it's all about how you can frame the conversation and really control that frame. And by me doing all this preparation, I was able to control the conversation. If Brian started taking it one way, I was able to pull it back, because I knew what I wanted the end result to look like. So preparation is key. And at the end of it, I received one of the highest compliments that I've ever received in my life. Brian went up to, we went to lunch over the Cheesecake Factory, which is actually downstairs from us. And, I was there with Nick and Jack and my partners, Lindsay. And Brian comes up to me and says, man, that was one of the most well-prepared and well-put-together interviews I'd ever done in my life. And it was all because of the preparation that I took before I went into the interview. So make sure that you're prepared in any given situation. If you're being interviewed, make sure you're prepared to give great answers, right? A lot of times when we record products, we record it in an interview fashion. We want to make sure that you're prepared to answer those questions. So preparedness, super huge, very important. People notice how prepared that you are, right? All right, number two, sometimes the obvious question or the question that's right in front of you is the best question to ask. And I mentioned all these things about being prepared and having the right question, but some of the best questions that I asked were, well, why do you think that, Brian? Well, why? Well, how did you do that? Right? Just very simple, basic questions. Really, it's almost acting like you're a young child, and you're just trying to discover more about the world, and you just want to learn more. And those are sometimes the best questions, right? In sales, just getting someone to talk, getting those open-ended questions where you can just discover more about their needs, about their wants, about their habits, about their personalities, about all these different things. And sometimes it really is that one question. There was one question. At one point, I just asked Brian, let's just expand on that, right? Because he gave an answer about the marketing mix and some marketing channels that he was running through. And I was like, well, Brian, those are great in theory, but let's expand on that. How do we actually use that, right? And those questions turned out to be the best answers in the entire program. Right, so remember that you can have this long-winded, trying to fill time and make things sound a whole lot cooler and better than they are. But sometimes it just comes down to, well, break that down for me. How'd you do that? Why? What are you doing? Things like that, and those are really going to open up answers because, when you answer or when you ask those straightforward questions, you're going to get a straightforward answer back because they don't have time to think about the filler and the fluff that you put in there. They're just like, why? And you're like, well, here's the reason why. And those come out to be really, really great answers. All right, so that's number two. The best question is sometimes the obvious one. And the third one really comes back to everything that we stand for here at the Product Pros and the Dixon Nanton Agency. And it's that, you can laugh, you can chuckle, and you can have a good time. I mean, you see the smile on my face right now. I mean, I love doing these videos. I love doing that interview with Brian. We got to smile and laugh, and we had a great time. And the end product was so much better than if we were stone cold serious, just staring at a camera and talking into microphones. We had a good time, and I'm like, oh, that's great, Brian. I love that you said that, and we really, you could tell it was a very warm conversation. It's very inviting. It's something that people are going to want to listen to. All right. So those are my three kind of things that I learned while interviewing Brian and going through this process. Again, number one, preparation is key. Be prepared for anything that you do. I mean, even for this quick little video, I usually just kind of do them off the cuff. Today I got notes, and like I said, it's okay to read off the notes, but be prepared. Know what you're going to say. Have a message, right? And figure out how you're going to deliver that. Whether you're giving a presentation, you're doing a sale, you're just talking to someone, you're networking, doesn't matter. Be prepared. Two, ask those obvious questions. Just ask the next question and get more information out of the person. It's going to help you get the sale. It's going to help you learn more about them and to help them with their needs and with their problems. And three, have a good time. So that's what we're all in this for, right? If we're always stressed out, if we're always, steam-faced and not very happy, the end result isn't going to be as good. So have a good time while you're doing that, all right? Now, I do want to mention that we have two great opportunities for you to check out that interview that I did with the legendary Brian Tracy, and they're right below this video, all right? The first one is an opportunity to co-create and co-brand this product with Brian Tracy, because after we recorded it on Business and Success. We thought that, the next best thing would be to allow you to join in on this program. So it'd be me, you, and Brian Tracy all in one product together. We have the licensing rights. We went through this whole process with his team to be able to give you that right. And if you guys are interested in that, there's a form you can fill out, and me and you will jump on the phone one-on-one. I'll tell you more about the opportunity and how you can get involved, all right? The other option is we have put this into an information product, an educational product. It's a physical product. It's a CD, a DVD, an action guide, and a manual that you're physically going to get. And there's a link right below to learn more about that, and you can watch a video where I show you the product and everything that Brian covers throughout the process. So I hope you guys enjoyed learning these three things, and I hope you check out one of the resources below. It's one of the best interviews, the best sources of information that I have ever been a part of in my years here in the information business, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. So check that out. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you guys real soon.